All right, if I need to push a car somewhere, pick up a tire, do some basic stuff that men should be able to do, and you can't do it, that's not respected. And respect, of course, is important. Assalamu alaikum, peace. Coach Nazir, one of the authors of Let's Talk Polygyny Uncensored, as well as co-founder of Outstanding Personal Relationships. And of course, I'm the coach that helps people get their shift together. All right, with that being said, I want to share something with you today. It's something that I hear quite frequently from both sexes. One, I hear it in this fashion. I hear that when women say, you know what, a good man, a good husband is just really hard to find. And it's interesting because that's been said. And I remember that just as a kid, a good man is hard to find, right? Or they say, all the good men are taken. They're married or they're gay or whatever, all kind of stuff. Many different types of excuses, right? And the funny part is all these good men are hard to find. For some reason, a whole lot of women still getting pregnant. All right. So the other flip side is, all right, you know what? I really can't find a good woman. And whether it's practicing polygyny or not, for those of you who don't know, I'm Coach Nazir. I practice polygyny. I'm married to Coach Fatimah for 26 years, now over 26 years, and been married to Coach Nyla for over 11 years. So I practice polygyny, but again, the first 15 years of marriage for me was only to Coach Fatimah. All right, so I'm familiar with monogamy and polygyny and everything else. And for those of you who don't know and think this is just anti-monogamy and all this and talking down about monogamy, no, it's not the case. We're simply pro-morals, period. So monogamy, polygyny, whichever you choose is fine. But we do give more airplay and airtime to polygyny because we didn't have the support, and currently people are still not providing support for those who want to practice polygyny so that they can do what's called practice polygyny right. I hear a lot of women say, you know what, I'm not against polygyny if it was done right. But then when you're asked, where do you go out to learn how to do it right? And they lack resources. That's one of the reasons we chose to really form Outstanding Personal Relationships. But with that being said, I want to talk about a very important distinction. For the sisters, this is really to help you understand the differences. And for the men, this is to help you also understand the differences, but on different levels. I'll try to keep it short and sweet. Now, here's the thing. There are really two spheres that men operate in, and they should be good at in both of these spheres. So this, usually when we say, what do you look for in a good man? What do you look for in somebody's outstanding? What are you looking for in husband material? And there can be a challenge there. There can really be a challenge. And one of the things we have to remember is that women are seduced by their ears and men are seduced by their eyes. Women are seduced by their ears and men are seduced by their eyes. And you hear it a lot when a woman says, well, he said he'll do this or he didn't do that or he said he's working on this or blah, blah, blah. He said. All right, they're willing to be with someone who's ambitious, but you have to be able to demonstrate that ambition. Just keep in mind, women are seduced by the ears and men are seduced by the eyes. Now that's neutral. I'm not telling brothers, hey, seduce her by the ears, tell her what she wants to hear. No, not at all. I'm letting women know this is a weakness. You're seduced by your ears. All right, therefore, there's something in place, a wali, a wakil, a man who can act as your representative on your behalf when vetting men that are husband material. And men clearly are seduced by the eyes. It's one of the reasons women's just innate desire is to be beautiful. All right, many times they may not focus on the right things, but they focus on stuff like eyelashes and, fingernails and toenails and stuff like that versus like what's in between that, between the neck and ankles. But that's not the point of today's discussion. Today's discussion is about understanding the two spheres that you must know well in order to choose well. So ladies, here's the sphere. And I'm speaking to you not as just someone who doesn't know and doesn't have involvement in somebody who's just married and already has this stuff. No. I'm speaking to you also as a father. Not that I'm your father, no, but I'm responsible for 5 girls. See, my family, my wives and I have 10 biological children. I have 2 bonus children, so that makes a dozen children between the 3 of us. Okay, so I'm responsible for 5 daughters, 4 biologically and 1 of my bonus baby girl. 2 of them are already married in monogamy. That's what they wanted. They're already married, my older daughters. And then I have 3 daughters who actually prefer and want to marry in polygyny. So this is something I'm speaking to you as though I'm speaking to my daughters. 1, understand the difference between someone who is good at being a man and a good man, or what I call a man of value. There's a big difference. I'm not talking about high value man. I don't know Kevin Samuel stuff or jumping on that tip, right? I don't believe there's something as a high value man. Now, there can be high earning men because that's just simply based on income. That doesn't make you high value because of your income. Not at all. A man of value is something totally different. All right, but let me explain. A man who is good at being a man sometimes is mistaken as a good man. Here's what I mean. There are a number of different skill sets that all men should actually possess or be working towards. All right, there are skills and things and characteristics that all men should be working towards. Now, the skills in general are kind of neutral. All right, they don't make you a good man. Again, 2 different spheres. You have over here a man that's good at being a man. Then you have a good man or a man of value. So, what I mean? A man that's good at being a man, 1, that's someone who's strong, who's physically strong. Men should be physically strong, physically stronger than women in general. All right, we're built that way and we should be that way. Shouldn't be weak, a simp. Somebody wants you to open a jar of pickles or something. You can't handle it. All right, you need to be strong. Pick something up heavy, move it, put it down. Pick it up heavy, move it, put it down. Work out, you should be physically strong. If you have a physical handicap, you should still try to work on whatever parts work so that you're physically strong. Because men are supposed to be strong. Now, you may see somebody who's ripped, bodybuilder, extremely, strong, sexy to you, low levels of fat, right? That doesn't mean he's a good man. That just means he's good at being a man, physically strong, something that's an attractive characteristic to women, but also a good, respectable characteristic to men. Man, see, yeah, he's a strong dude. That's good. That's what's up. That's a manly man. All right, if I need to push a car somewhere, pick up a tire, do some basic stuff that men should be able to do, and you can't do it, that's not respected. And respect, of course, is important. But that's good at being a man, being strong. Being able to effectively communicate. Now, of course, that's for both sexes, but especially as men. There's nothing like someone who's vague, that's ambiguous, that says they want something, but they're back and forth. No, you should be assertive. Also aggressive. Now, don't mistake aggression for being a tyrant. That just means you can get stuff done. All right, you need to know. See, here, let me give you an example. Aggression, unchecked aggression is immaturity. But aggression, whether it's in football, aggression is that inner warrior that we have as men, that inner soldier that we have as men. All this energy you see as little boys bouncing off of this and racing and being very competitive, that's manly. It's our testosterone. We need this. That aggression is important. It gets things done. It helps us to be able to deal with energies in natural, normal fashion. Aggression is important. That's good at being a man. Now, being a man of value, you understand how to utilize that aggression, because a man of value recognizes you don't use this aggression in a negative fashion. You don't use the aggression to go ahead and use against a woman, domestic violence, or beating up kids and stuff like that. That's not how you use it. You use this aggression to set a goal, to head toward that goal, to be physically fit, to be disciplined. That's part of aggression. Getting things done, knowing you're going to die so you have mortality motivation. Aggression, I'm speaking to you aggressively. You're not intimidated. I'm not being condescending towards you. But I have that energy where you know this is a man's energy. All right? So something like having a presence. I didn't understand this for a while. And I remember a young lady I was in a business I was involved with. She was a banker. And I'd go to the bank and do my business, stuff like that. And then later we met at a business function. He said, I always thought you were really mean. I'm like, what? Really mean? She's like, yeah, you're always really serious in your face and everything. And, you're just really intimidating. And people who know me, if you know me now, you might have said that. Well, not people who know me, people who know of me, or sisters and women in particular, men don't be like, your husband's intimidating. Not at least manly men or anything masculine men that I know. But she said, you're really intimidating. I just figured there was a thing. And then she said, you just have this presence. I never heard that before. My wife said that. She's like, hey, my friends, sometimes they may think you're intimidating. I'm like, what? Why? And sometimes because I'm not all in the face, I'm not, hey, how you doing? And, I'm not mixing with the ladies like that, all in their business. I couldn't tell you many times who somebody's wife is unless they're with their husband. Or if my wife tells me who somebody is, because that's not my business, right? So I'm focused on things I have to do, right? But with that being said, that just means there's a presence. When a man comes into the room, a man is in the room. That doesn't mean that he's going to be a clown or childish and having to crack jokes and be the joke of the room like a class clown and teen. No, a man's in the room is a man's in the room. Somebody can feel protected at the same time. So something go down, they know who to look at if something's popping. Okay? Very important. Same thing with violence. A man who's good at being a man knows how to use violence, whether it's in chopping down a tree, whether it's raising a voice to get something done, whether it's defending the family, knowing how to use weapons. These things are very important. That helps you be good at being a man, but that doesn't mean you're a good man. Because a person utilizes violence, aggression, communication, their presence also in a negative fashion. So the thing that makes this over here look good in and of itself is that that's good at being a man. Know the difference, sisters. Brothers, know the difference. There's some skills you may need. Something like being handy around the house, whether it's with a screwdriver, changing a tire, or, fixing something. All right, being good at being a man, being solution-oriented to get some things done. Being able to have power, meaning you have the ability to take action. But living on your values. You know how to use violence and when it's called for and when it's not. How to de-escalate a situation so everybody is satisfied, or at least there's an amicable solution to a challenge. That's somebody that has morals and lives on their values. You know how to use violence well. Does that mean you're a violent person? I try not to be. But if you're using it well, that's what you do. Why? Because you're a hunter. You're a warrior. That's already in you. Don't try to suppress that. Don't. We have 10 times the testosterone. A healthy man has 10 times the testosterone level of a healthy woman. It's called balance. Being able to have that courage, demonstrate that, move forward is important. These are the things that are good at being a man. Some people look at different careers. You're talking about, hey, somebody's a lumberjack or a cowboy, or somebody goes there. There's certain things like firemen, for example, right? Or looking at EMTs. People look at these jobs like, the adrenaline drip goes on, everything else, but they're looking at somebody being rescued. But it's good at being a man. Man of value, when these two things come together, that changes the game. That, brothers, makes you more attractive. The ability to effectively communicate, demonstrate courage, know when to utilize aggression, to have physical strength. I'm not talking about the emotional strength and stuff yet. Here's some skills that we all need, yes. But in particular, being good at being a man, someone doesn't have time to feel you out emotionally other than they recognize you have self-discipline. You're not just led by your vices. But knowing you have values and you demonstrate them, not out of weakness, because the strong believer is better than the weak believer. You demonstrate them just because. You don't waste your time, talk a whole lot, having unnecessary conversation, talking just to hear yourself talk. That matters. So being good at being a man and saying he's a good man because he's good at being a man, ladies, without recognizing what a man of value is, and that should weigh a whole lot more, but men should work on possessing these skills, that's what makes the difference. When those two fuse together. So for my daughters, that's my job. Is it easy? Not at all. I feel for your plight. Men have far more options than women have. We don't have a biological clock going. We're more demand than the women. So when we talk about polygyny, we talk about it as a solution. Is it for everybody? Please don't come with that idiotic argument. Well, it's not for everybody. Nothing is for everybody. Nothing. Very few things, I should say. Sleep, water, food. Nothing is for everybody. Not even marriage. Not even marriage for everybody. Okay? So please don't come with that. Oh, it's not for everybody. Some people are just those childish arguments. No. We're talking about men of value. Talking about those who want more, want to develop into being leaders, and understanding that the normalization of polygyny in particular will require men to be more, to lead more, to stretch themselves, which helps you accomplish a whole lot more than just sitting there and say, okay, oh yeah, just one, that's it. Okay, cool, I'm done. My book is closed. I want to have a bunch of kids, but she says no, or I have 3, and that's too much, or she's older now, so I'm not. No. Then you limit yourself. Don't expect that man to become much more at all. He doesn't have that number one motivation, that desire to drive him to do much more. And if you follow some of my trainings, I'm talking about sex transmutation. Sex transmutation. And I'm talking about this old trans stuff in today's time. Unfortunately, I have to even explain that. But there's a chapter in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill that talks about our drive and our utilization of the strong energy that we have within ourselves, carrying life fluid, if you will, that gets produced at 12 to 1500 per second. But utilizing that energy to do something productive and magnificent and big out of our desire that we created for women is huge. So when polygyny enters the picture, that's for strong men. That's not for weak men. It's not for average men. So if you're average, I suggest you step it up. If you want more, I think you need to utilize how to use your energies to become more, to not just be good at being a man, but increasing yourself to a man of value. And ladies, understand there's a difference. Just because you see somebody that looks good at being a man doesn't mean he's a man of value. All right, we have a lot of examples of that. So whether it's those who are on the Derek Jackson self-crown thing, talking all this monogamy stuff and everything all the whole while, multiple affairs, cheat on his wife, lots of pregnancies and all that foolishness. Or you get other people who are relationship coaches, but they've been divorced so many times. It's like, why listen to you? You're not teaching on what not to do to get divorced. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. You don't even like women sometimes, but you're giving relationship advice to men and women. Literally, like there are people who are homosexuals and they're telling men and women what to do in heterosexual relationships. Sometimes advice is good. I mean, some advice is universal. But I personally kind of hesitate on those who haven't done it, experienced it themselves in a number of different areas, because I want to know more than theory. I want to know some practical things that I can apply in my life. And you can get info from anywhere. I'm telling you, some of the best info you can get are in children's books, like The Little Red Hen. If you motivate, you want to build something big, but you're trying to have people to recruit to be on your team or support the cause, they don't want to get with it. The Little Red Hen was just trying to make some bread. Talk to the cow, talk to the pig, talk to the horse, or whatever other animals the Little Red Hen talked to. They were all like, not I, not I, not I. So the Little Red Hen made it happen. She got it done. She got that bread. And as soon as she was getting that bread, it was hot, and everybody wanted to have some. She's like, nah, you didn't help, you didn't pitch in, you didn't put in. Got it done. The lessons, crucial. The ant and the grasshopper, come on. The ant was thinking winter all summer, but all summer the grasshopper was playing, was distracted, was busy binging on Netflix, thinking that this warm weather's gonna last the whole time. Didn't put stuff aside for the bad weather. Didn't put it together when it got cold, when things changed over, when the regular harvest and all that stuff died. Grasshopper died though. Ant was all good, was thinking winter all summer. And understood it was worth it because now you can think summer all winter. That's basic discipline. The stories and the lessons from these stories, invaluable. So with that being said, didn't want to make this too long. Nevertheless, understand the difference between being a good man and a man of value. You want to have one that's high level, the kind that I'm looking for to marry my daughters. Both of those have to work. They got to mix. So with that being said, I'm Coach Nazir, coach that helps people get their shifts together. I'm out. Remember GLC. Grow intentionally, love fearlessly, and connect on a higher level every single day. Assalamu alaikum. Peace. We are also the authors of the new ebook, The Polygamy Roadmap. 2 different roadmaps, one specifically for men and the other
for women.
Naturally. So no matter where somebody is in their journey, whether they're considering it and what's required, especially men I'm talking to, I share the 5 requisites on really what it takes to build a healthy, successful polygynous family unit. So with that being said, make sure if you're a man and if you're serious, not just curious, you take action and get it today.
And in the women's polygamy roadmap, we talk about the different feelings that women might go through with emotions of fear, challenge, betrayal, jealousy.
Yes, and we give you some good insight as well as tips, anecdotes, as well as some of our stories of struggle in the polygamy roadmap too for women. And you will find out really how to have a type of confidence in yourself after reading this. I'm truly, truly in the mindset that you would anyway.
Indeed. So do what you got to do. And that means go to polygamyroadmap.com, grab your copy. We look forward to you benefiting from it and joining us in our private community. With that being said, Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.